Real estate is a very lucrative option when it comes to investing and reaping profits. It's one of the oldest sectors out there, and one which most people think they can understand easily. However, this can be a very serious and costly mistake. Before you invest into real estate, make sure that you understand the sector properly. There is no point investing your hard-earned savings into any investment, be it real estate, shares, bonds, or any other option, without studying it first, so you can see if it's right for you. In today's video, we will be explaining what exactly is real estate investing and how you can use it to grow your wealth fast. But before we start, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. There are a number of reasons why real estate is considered to be the best investment, but the main one is the large amount of capital gains you can expect to make through owning property. You can see in this graph how housing prices have appreciated over time. This is one major reason why the real estate sector is so lucrative. But you can also see the lows and sharp declines, particularly the one in 2008. As a real estate investor, you must understand when and why real estate prices rise and fall. This can help you time your purchases and pick up good deals at discount prices. But even if you don't time your purchases too well, you will rarely lose out when investing in real estate, because history has shown us that house prices over the long term will always appreciate. In fact, on average, house prices are believed to double every 10 years. So even if you just bought a house and did no renovations or repairs to it, if you hold it long enough, you will most likely still walk away with a decent profit. This is how most of the older generations have built their wealth over time. Another thing to consider when investing in real estate is the monetary policy rate. Interest rates tend to have a cascading effect on the economy. A fall in interest rates makes loans and mortgages cheaper, which increases the demand for properties and thus drives up the prices. We saw this during the COVID pandemic when interest rates were at historic lows of around 2%, and the real estate market was booming. But now, due to record inflation levels, banks have had to drastically increase interest rates, making mortgages far more expensive to afford. Now, this may not drive the prices down on its own, but it can have a negative impact. One important thing to also consider is purchasing power. During times when incomes rise, demand for real estate tends to be high as people can spend more. However, at present, the current cost of living crisis has eroded the purchasing power of many poor to middle-class workers, therefore making it too expensive for them to enter the market. In short, if you want to become a real estate investor, you must have a firm grasp over micro and macroeconomic factors in order to understand real estate cycles well. So how do you actually make money with real estate? You can invest your money into real estate in a number of ways. You can buy rental properties, get into house flipping, invest into REITs, and do real estate wholesaling. Each one of these strategies has its own pros and cons, so you need to research into each category thoroughly and decide which one will suit you best. Let's start with buying rental properties. This is probably the most common way in which people invest into real estate. Buying a rental property makes you a landlord. Now, becoming a landlord comes with great responsibilities. As a landlord, you will be required to pay the mortgage on the property, pay for insurance, carry out regular maintenance, look for new tenants when old ones leave, keep the property occupied, and deal with occasional tenant problems. Owning rental properties can be a very time-consuming job, which is why many landlords hire a property manager to take care of these issues for them. You can go for this option, but it will add to your expenses and cut down your profit, so make sure you run the numbers to see if you can afford it. Another thing you must be mindful of is the rent that you are going to charge your tenants. The rent will depend on the location of your property, its condition, and how many rooms it has. For example, if you own a 5-bedroom house in a very rich suburb, you will be able to charge a much higher rent than if it were a 3-bedroom house located in a poorer area. This will also dictate what kind of tenants you attract as well. Rental property can be a very good way to earn recurring income in the form of monthly rent. This is certainly a good way to generate a passive income stream if you can outsource the work to an experienced property manager. The next strategy is known as house flipping. Buying rental properties is mainly for those who are looking to create a passive income stream. House flipping, on the other hand, requires more investment of time and resources and can therefore be considered as active income. House flipping is mainly suited to people who have extensive knowledge of the real estate sector and experience in house renovations. The process is simple. Purchase an old, outdated, or damaged property under market value, repair the property and make improvements to it, and then sell the property for more than what you bought it for. Once you've purchased the property, you will have to use your experience and skills to renovate the property. The better you renovate the property, the better you can price it in the market. This can be done by painting it, laying new carpet, or even installing a new kitchen. Now, as good as it may sound, flipping houses requires not only money and effort, but also time. Depending on how long you take to renovate the property, you might only be able to flip 3 or 4 properties a year. Your investment will also get tied into the property for the duration of the time it takes to renovate, and then find a suitable buyer willing to pay what you're asking for. If done correctly, this can be a very rewarding way to invest in real estate if you know how to add value through renovations. The risk with house flipping is that if the market takes a turn while you're renovating, you may not be able to sell it for a profit, and might be stuck holding the property as a long-term investment. This isn't always a bad thing, though, because you can always rent the property out while you wait for the market to recover. The third strategy we're going to cover is investing in REITs. To explain this in a simple manner, a REIT is like a company that is listed on the stock exchange. But instead of being a company, the REIT has real estate properties in its portfolio. These properties generate rental income, which the REIT redistributes to the shareholders in the form of dividends. Now, REITs are by law required to pay out at least 90% of their income to the shareholders, which makes them a very profitable investment. Investing into a REIT can be ideal if you don't have enough savings to buy a property yourself, yet still want to be involved in the real estate industry. REITs bring you all of the benefits of owning a rental property while eliminating the drawbacks of being the landlord yourself. The REIT looks after the property, its maintenance, and every other aspect. You as a shareholder will simply have to invest your savings into the shares and then collect your dividends. Before investing into a REIT, make sure that you carry out the required due diligence. Check the books, look at the profitability and payout. Make sure to also check out the occupancy rate in particular. The occupancy rate shows the percentage of rental properties occupied. The higher the occupancy rate, the higher the payout will be. There are also many different types of REITs out there. Some, for example, only invest in commercial properties, while others may own apartment blocks. And lastly, there's real estate wholesaling. This method is basically like acting as a middleman between the buyer and seller. The way it works is like this. 1. You reach out to a homeowner asking them if they are looking to sell their house. 2. You then offer to buy it from them under its current market value. 3. You sign a contract stating that you have the right to buy it at the agreed price. And 4. You then sell that contract to an investor who has the money to purchase the property. For example, if there was a property worth $200,000 and you locked it under a contract for $160,000, you could get in touch with a property investor and offer him the property at $180,000. By doing this, you would make the difference between the two prices, which in this case was $20,000. The seller walks away happy because he was able to sell his home at an agreeable price, and the investor walks away happy because he was able to find a good deal under market value. Not too bad considering you didn't have to spend any money or take out any loans, right? The downside here is that you might need to make 100 calls before you find one homeowner willing to sell you their property. But if you have more time than money, this can be a great method of building up some capital which you could then use to purchase your own real estate down the line. What do you think? Would you invest in real estate at the moment? And if so, what strategy do you think is best? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.